Oh no, Harry proves himself a disgusting hypocrite after being fight back by Sasha Walpole. The unmasking of a mother of two as the older woman that Harry lost his virginity to has revealed something unflattering about the truth-telling royal. Hello and a very warm welcome back to Kate Middleton and the Queen News YouTube channel. In an alternate universe right now, there is Sasha Walpole, just your typical busy working mom, dusting some toast crumbs off of her favorite sweatshirt while trying to track down her lost swimming kit. A whole universe where she's not suddenly globally famous for one little tryst more than 20 years ago. And in this universe, her name for the rest of her life will not be associated with a drunken roll in the hay in a field behind a pub. If you haven't heard yet, of course, Walpole is the woman who outed herself over the weekend as the older woman who took Harry's virginity. Harry, of course, revealed this escapade to the entire world in the pages of his best-selling memoir and Score Settler Spare. Now let's get real. The minute that we learned about Harry's post-pub slap and tickle, it was inevitable that at some point, of course, this woman was going to be exposed. And here we are. Well, the people at Fleet Street are pretty happy right now. But the events that have happened over the last 24 hours do not make Harry look good at all. In fact, it seems like only one thing is clear. That Prince Harry, the patron saint of truth-telling and idiotic necklaces, is a complete hypocrite. According to the Mail on Sunday, Walpole's decision to go public was not because of a hunger for fame, but instead it was driven by the fact that she was scared of the real-life consequences of Harry's choice to include her in Spare. When speaking with the Mail, Walpole talked about her panic after discovering that their shot-fueled shag was included. She said that it got to the stage when a strange car drove by. I'd think, is this it? I worried that I'd wake up one morning and find a barrage of cameras outside my house. She went on to say, at first I thought I could hide and that it would blow over. But as the names of different women, some of whom I know, became public, I realized that to make the speculation stop, I needed to tell the truth. I wanted to take control of the situation before it took control of me. I can stop looking over my shoulder. I do feel sorry for her. It sounds like she would have much preferred anonymity. I don't think she wanted to become a global punchline thanks to an adolescent indiscretion. We've got to wonder, in deciding to include the story of their encounter, did Harry even once stop and consider that maybe he would fire the starting gun on the race to find this older woman? Did he even consider her at all? And this brings us to the meat of the issue here. For quite a while now, Harry has always taken the moral high ground. He's pointed out the many flaws of not only the British press, but also those people called the royal family. I mean, Harry and Meghan have made a career out of calling out the dysfunction of both Fleet Street and the House of Windsor, and some have argued that they had the right to do so. But a series of decisions that Meghan and Harry have undertaken over the last couple of years, with Spare being the real pinnacle of all of this, have exposed just how hollow that superior moral high ground is. Let's consider the fact that one of the big themes in Spare is that for such a long time, Harry had to put up with having his privacy invaded by the media. And I think on that count, most people would agree with him. It's not okay to have one's privacy so invaded by the press. When we consider that, it makes sense that Harry has made it his mission in life to protect his family from the long lenses of the ravenous paparazzi. But still, in Harry's book, he walks all over the royal family's own privacy, and he doesn't seem to care. Harry claims that Catherine, the Princess of Wales, was not welcoming to Meghan, that she grimaced after being asked to loan Meghan her lip gloss. Harry also details the fight over the bridesmaids' dresses, and also the fact that apparently Catherine took offense when Meghan told her that she had baby brain. Meanwhile, Harry portrays his older brother as this insecure bully, and his father is both a failure as a father and also a provider of comic relief, doing handstands on a daily basis and carrying his childhood teddy bear around wherever he goes. Now, ITV's Tom Bradby did point out this uncomfortable fact to Harry, but Harry's response was, "My family has been briefing the press solidly for well over a decade, so I'm sorry that me owning my story and being able to tell my own story is upsetting to some people." But Harry, is it really owning your story if then you resort to the same kind of self-serving approach that you have accused others of taking? Harry cannot have his cake and eat it too in this situation. No, he can't stand up on that soapbox and preach to everybody about how horrible his family is, how they were willing to tattle about him, and then turn around and engage in exactly the same kind of revelations. According to Harry, the way the family functions when they're not standing on the Buckingham Palace balcony is as a flawed series of cores that are all locked in this battle for good publicity. And in that mission to win the PR game, the various frontline Windsors are willing to climb over each other, a climate where self-interest is more important than family. Yeah, it is some pretty disgusting stuff. But how exactly is that any different than what Meghan and Harry have been up to in recent years? They went ahead with their primetime interview with Oprah in March of 2021 as Harry's own grandfather, Prince Philip, lay dying in the hospital. And then only 4 months later, as the late Queen was still grieving, Harry decided to announce that he was writing a memoir. And then in May of 2022, when recently it has been alleged that the late Queen was already dealing with cancer, it came out that they were making a Netflix docuseries about their lives. So why couldn't they wait to do all of that until the late Queen passed away? Earlier this year, sources close to the late Queen told The Telegraph that Harry's constant ambushing of the family had an impact on the Queen's health in her final year. It did take its toll. And that same report also said that another well placed source had said they had absolutely no doubt that the allegations made by Meghan and Harry did affect the late Queen's health. So Harry's going to whine to anybody who will listen when he thinks that his family has exploited him to get ahead, but then it seems like he has no problem following that exact same route. For Harry, it seems like what's good for the goose is not good for the gander. I guess it's also pretty convenient for Harry, too, that not only is the truth setting him free, but it's also making him a pretty penny. Harry has made it his mission in life to hold the media and the royal outfit to account, but he doesn't seem particularly interested in applying the same critical eye to his own decisions. Let's just imagine if the tables were turned in this whole Walpole situation. What if it weren't Harry who revealed that romp in the hay with Walpole to the world, but what if it were the other way around? Let's just imagine that she didn't really name names like Harry, but she did write about having sex with a teenage prince after a drunken night. Can you imagine? She would be crucified. People would say that she was just after money, and that's the only reason she was sharing that story. So why is it that the same standard does not apply to Harry? Harry knows how the media works. I mean, he had to have known that writing about that moment in the field would create a huge tabloid hunt for this woman in question. So what I can't help but still wonder is how much thought, if any, did he give for all the people whose lives may have been affected by all of his truth-telling? I'm talking about his grandmother, his grandfather, his brother, his sister-in-law. I mean, even his nieces and nephews have been affected. Now, for all of eternity, it is out there in the public domain that Harry's older brother William supposedly attacked him during a fight over Meghan's treatment of the couple's shared staff back in 2019. Now, one day, Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis are going to be able to read about their father's bullying ways and also the fact that their mother was allegedly so cold towards Meghan. Did Harry even for one moment consider how that would affect them, having their parents' reputations tarnished by their own uncle? It's now been 1 month since Spare came out, and what exactly have we learned in this time? Well, we've learned that the royal family is supposedly this emotionally cold bunch that's driven by ego and a desire to come out on top when it comes to PR. They don't care about how that's going to affect the people they're supposed to care most about. Well, it looks like the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, does it? And you, what do you think about this view? Please tell me your opinion below in the comments section. If you think my video is helpful, please remember to like and share it with anyone else who would enjoy it anytime you want. And don't forget to subscribe to Kate Middleton and the Queen News YouTube channel to get more updates in the future. Again, thank you so much for tuning in. Goodbye, and we'll be back to see you in the next videos.